What's up, everyone? Today is September 2nd of 2023. In today's video, we're going to talk about the death of musician Jack Sonni, a man who's best known for his work alongside the band Dire Straits. Now, in this video, we'll talk about how this last name, Sonni, points us to this ongoing riddle connected to the two great American total solar eclipses, stamping an X over the United States in 2017 and 2024. My last video on this channel was a Superstream 58 called the Secret Society Special that focuses on how the numbers 223 and 322 are extremely significant to all the major news stories this year. And this once again goes through Yale University, home to Skull and Bones, Order 322. The school turns 322 years old here in 2023. Now, the name Sonni, of course, points to this eclipse riddle, and without question, Jack's death is connected to this code as well. We begin by looking at his nickname. And as you scroll down in CNN's article here, you see he was affectionately known as, quote, the other guitarist, which is a quote that's also found on his Wikipedia page and his own website, a moniker he embraced. But perhaps he should not have embraced it so lovingly, as the phrase the other guitarist has ordinal gematria of 223. Using prime numbers, the way he spells his last name, Sonni, also has gematria of 223. And remember, it's the moon sums to 223 in Hebrew. And this is an eclipse number, as every eclipse from the same Sorrow series separated by 223 lunar phases. When it comes to the band Dire Straits, perhaps their best known album is Brothers in Arms, which is the album that Jack Sonni contributed to. The most popular track from this album is Money for Nothing, and the riddle with Jack Sonni's death revolves around this song. Now, in this song, which had a revolutionary video as it was rendered entirely in CGI, the song begins by singing, "I want my MTV." And this line is actually sang by the musician Sting, frontman of The Police. Now, if you write this band and song title out, Money for Nothing, Dire Straits, you get an English standard value of 2,203. This cipher of gematria, structured similarly to the ancient Hebrew and Greek charts, whereas the rest of the methods, known as the base 4, much more simple, providing much smaller numbers. But once again, we see this 223 connected to this song. Measuring from the death of Jack Sonni on August 30th to the date of the second Great American Total Solar Eclipse gives us a span of 223 days. However, Sonni's death was not reported in mainstream news until yesterday, September 1st. And the date on which these events are reported is also important. If you measure from the date that Money for Nothing first aired on MTV, the video, to the death of Jack Sonni, is exactly 433 months. In the Latin method of gematria, also known as Agrippa's key, which I consider to be the most significant, solar eclipse has gematria of 433. So if you measure from yesterday's news to this eclipse, you find it was 220 days later. And that's interesting because if you measure from the first Great American Total Solar Eclipse, again, the one occurring in 2017, he died exactly 2,200 days after that eclipse. The Skull and Bones secret society is also known as the Brotherhood of Death. And using the standard alphabetic order 1 through 26, the Brotherhood of Death equals 220. Using the reverse alphabetic order, Skull and Bones has a value of 202, and of course with the 0 ignored, this also represents 22. In ordinal, total solar eclipse equals 202. And consider how in numerology, 22 is considered a master number, and master equals 22 in Pythagorean. Technically, 22 is the master builder number, and in ordinal, master builder number also 220. But this points to another code that I commonly talk about in Gematria, the eclipse sacrifice code. And another great example of this was about a month or two ago when New York meteorologist Elise Finch passed away. So check out my video on that if you haven't seen it. Notice how eclipse sacrifice sums to 79 in reduction, which is the 22nd prime number to go along with all of this 22. Furthermore, the word murder also equals 79. Now, there's another significant form of Gematria called satanic Gematria that I teach. This method is centered around the number 666. Now, if you reverse this cipher so that Z is 36 and A is 61, notice how eclipse sacrifice gives us this value of 850. On the date he died, Jack Sonni was exactly 850 lunar phases old. Of course, a lunar phase about 29.5 days, measuring from new moon to new moon. The phrase eclipse sacrifice also has the same numbers as the other guitarist, Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, Dire Straits, Jack Sonni, and Sonni. All of these matching the values of eclipse sacrifice. We're also going to take a look at MTV Entertainment Group. And notice how MTV Entertainment Group has a couple of the same numbers as eclipse sacrifice, 290 and 101. So this phrase, the other guitarist, notice how the other guitarist sums to 101. Well, so does eclipse sacrifice, 101. On the date he died, Jack Sonni was 25,101 days old, and his death also fell 101 days before his next birthday. Now, 101 is the 26th prime number. The names Sonni and MTV both equal 26, and this will take us into the next part of this riddle, as, once again, this song, Money for Nothing, pining about MTV. MTV first debuted on cable television on August 1st of 81, a date that you can write 8/1 of 81, or 1/8 if you're in Europe or some other nation. Notice how Sonni died on a date with numerology of 81 and 18. And what's interesting about that is that Money for Nothing, the video by Dire Straits, first aired on MTV on August 1st, which was the network's anniversary. So Jack Sonni dies on August 30th, the date written 830. In Latin Gematria, MTV equals 830. The band Dire Straits has Gematria of 83, matching the date. Their guitarist's name is Jack, 83. And consider how the album that contains Money for Nothing is called Brothers in Arms. This reminds us of the Skull and Bones Society, which is a Brotherhood of Death. Notice how Brotherhood of Death also sums to 83. And in the ancient Hebrew language, both total eclipse and solar eclipse have this 83 value. Another word that sums to 83 is murder, which sums to both 83 and 38. And of course, the 30th of August can also be written 30/8. When news of Sonny's death broke into the mainstream, it was exactly 38 weeks after his birthday, and it was also 38 days before the anniversary of Yale University, which, once again, is the big riddle this year, turning 322 years old in October. This number 38 is also a very significant number of death. And consider how the 2002 film Murder by Numbers has the 3 and the 8 coded directly into the poster. Death, killing, murder, and RIP all sum to 38. Well, there's also a song called Murder by Numbers. This is the final track on the Police album Synchronicity. And when people die by the numbers, this is the ultimate question. Is it just synchronicity, or is it murder by numbers? Curiously, the Police recorded this album in 1982, which is the English standard value of the word synchronicity. So Sting sings the lyrics, "I want my MTV," in this famous song. So perhaps this is a little clue to this murder by numbers code. And notice how Sting and Police both have matching gematria of 33 with the S exception. The S exception is identical to full reduction, but the S, the 19th letter, 1 plus 9 is 10. This is only reduced once. So Sting and Police both sum to 33. Well, if you measure from the death of Jack Sonni to the birthday of Sting, you find it was 33 days apart. Furthermore, Sting will be 72 years old in October, and notice how Sting, the Police, has double gematria of 72 in the reduction methods. News of Sonny's death was published on a date with standard numerology of 33. This is a significant number connected to the eclipse code, which equals 33. And notice how in multiple ciphers, the name Jack Sonni sums to 33 and 303. The sun also equals 33. Sun equals 330. So does MTV in Sumerian. MTV is currently headquartered in New York City, 33 and 333 in Gematria. And you have to appreciate their address, 1515 Broadway. Well, when you write the number out, 33, using standard gematria, it sums to 1515. 1515 is also the gematria of 13, using square numbers. And consider how M, the letter largest on the logo, M is the 13th letter. So we're going to glance at how this is also connected to MTV Entertainment Group, which is the parent company of music television. MTV Entertainment Group sums to 420 using capital letters. And notice how Jack Sonni and Eclipse both equal 42. Well, on the date 420 earlier this year, there was a rare hybrid solar eclipse. And this solar eclipse belonged to Saros Series 129. And that's interesting because Jack Sonni was born on December 9th, which is written 129, so there has to be a connection here. Well, if you measure from that eclipse to the news of his death, it was 134 days later. MTV Entertainment Group was established on a date with primary numerology of 134. This is the ordinal value of solar eclipse 134, dead 134 days after this solar eclipse, which fell on a date that matches the company's gematria. It's amazing how this works. Now, in reverse, solar eclipse equals 190. This is the capital letter value of Jack Sonni. And think about how his death made the headlines on the 1st of September. The date written 1/9. And the number 19 is connected to this kill code. In Hebrew, kill equals 19. But this number also connects us to the two founding members of Dire Straits, the Knopfler brothers. Mark Knopfler was born on August 12th. This means if you measure from his birthday to the death of Jack Sonni, you find it was a span of 19 days later. Meanwhile, David Knopfler was born on December 27th, and if you measure from December 27th to the December 9th birthday of Jack Sonni, you also get a span of 19 days. And again, solar eclipse 190 reverse. Also think about how there's 19 years in the moon's metonic cycle. And as a result, we often get a solar eclipse exactly 19 years after the last one. Now, September 1st, the date written 1/9 internationally, is also the 244th day of the year. Not only does kill equal 244 in Hebrew, but the number 19 equals 244 in Latin. And MTV Entertainment Group is 2,044 weeks old. MTV Entertainment Group belongs to Paramount Global. And this brings us to the next part of this riddle. MTV's owner, Paramount Global. This is a relatively new company, a consolidation that was founded on December 4th of 2019. Notice how Jack Sonni died exactly 195 weeks after that date. In the alphabetic order, music television sums to 195, which again is the centerpiece of this whole riddle, MTV. Now, if you measure from the first air date of MTV to Sonny's death, you also get 2,195 weeks. Sonny's death fell 337 days before MTV's next anniversary on August 1st. And that stands out because 337 is the 68th prime number. And wouldn't you know, Jack Sonni dead at the age of 68. On top of that, his death also reported in the mainstream 68 days after MTV Entertainment's anniversary. That'll do it for this one, everyone. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe. If you want to support the work, please feel free to check the links in the description. Peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya!